guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we are going to be getting all steamed up, so I hope you guys are ready. So diving in today, man, I have some plans for some power. We're going to try to set up some steam generated power. So we're going to integrate Mekanism, and we're also going to integrate immersive engineering, put those two together, and hopefully be able to generate a very large amount of power. That's the ultimate goal. I think Mekanism, though, has the potential to generate way more power later on. But for right now, I think the best method for me is going to be utilize Mekanism to generate steam, as I don't want to build like the crazy multi-blocks from this. I'm already going to have to build one as it is, which is going to be the steam turbine. But the ones, the Mekanism multi-blocks are a lot simpler and just way easier to build. Another thing we're going to need is a pump. So I've already made some of the Mekanism stuff. However, I still need to get all the items for the steam turbine. So as of right now, I've kind of have an idea of where I want to place this. Pretty much directly underneath here is sort of where I want to go with this. I want to have this area down here, and I want to utilize it for the steam turbine. I think this is going to be a pretty decent spot. So I'm gonna carve out a little bit of this area here. There's really nothing there until we get a little bit further back, and then we start to kind of push into our storage system. But as of right now, this should be a pretty decent spot for it. So I ended up tearing a hole down here, kind of doing some measurements. I will use this later, but for something different. I eventually decided, you know what, I should just build an external platform, because this thing is going to be big. Like, no joke, this thing is like 21 blocks long. Yeah, it's going to take up nearly this entire platform. This is how big this multi-block structure is that we're going to be building from immersive engineering. And the one from Mekanism isn't too big, but it is big. It is big-ish. And we're going to actually try and fit that over here somewhere, wherever our input port is. So let's go ahead and talk about steam management and how we're actually going to generate this steam from Mekanism. So we need to get ourselves some steam generated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually build a boiler multi-block for Mekanism. And this is not too difficult to set up. It's not too bad at all. So we're going to need a base that is going to go like this. I think I actually need to raise this up a little bit. I could actually put this in the floor. You know what? Let's just go ahead and put this in the floor. It actually might be a little bit easier just to reach if you do this. So let's take this, and we're going to put the base down here, because it'll work either way. And I'll just kind of explain some of the things you're going to need. You're going to need boiler casings. You're going to need structured glass. Here's some of the things. Some sort of heater. So a fuel wood heater is like your base heater. You're going to need one pressure disperser. You're going to need yourself a superheating element and 2 boiler valves. I mean, that's literally how simple this thing is. It's just a little bit of steel to build this. And at this point, you should have a lot of steel. So let's go ahead and get this multi-block built up. Right here, we have our just platform. I'm going to place a single superheating element. It's going to go on top. And then to separate this, think of this as our internal chamber. So I'm going to separate this by a block and then put a disperser on top, or accidentally place another block. So place your disperser, your pressure disperser here. And then above that is actually going to be another empty space. So consider these empty space. You need empty space above your superheating element and an empty space above your pressure disperser. So to get that, we also need to break into the roof, which I figured was going to happen. This is a pretty tall machine, our multi-block. So I'm going to fill this out with more of our boiler casings, just like that. And then just go ahead and get the walls of this built in. Just like so. Super simple. This whole back area, I'm actually going to just go ahead and fill it in completely. And I'm going to leave the sides. We're going to do something with that. Right here, you can go ahead and technically you could open it up if you want. I'm going to show you what to do. We're going to take our boiler valves, and these boiler valves are going to go in the empty slots on the outside right here. And then if you want, you can put glass here. You don't have to. I'm going to go ahead and use casing. The only one I want actually open, I think, is this, which we can put glass here just because this actually emits light. The internal part. And then this, I'm going to fill this with structural glass. And once you're done, you should see a particle effect. And this is a built structure. And you can see right here, it tells you a little bit about temp. What we're going to do is we're going to feed it water into this port. And then up here, we're going to get steam out. And we do need a heater. So some way to heat the water up is going to be to use this fuel wood heater. We can place that right here. It's already got coal in because I tested this earlier to make sure it was going to work. And so this should build up the temperature so long as we got water. So to get water, that's where a pump is going to come into play. And I need to get myself some water set up down here. So we have a place for our pump to work. Place 1 bucket of water there. And because we don't have infinite water, of course that doesn't fill in. So we need to make sure that we have infinite sources here, right? It's infinite source? Yes. Okay, good. And then I can go ahead and place this down. On top, I'm going to give it a little bit of power. Just like that. This is set to output. So that should now be pumping. And then we need a lever on the back side. Actually, I'm going to just place a lever on this side. Lever right in here. So it's away from our machines. And then we're going to need our hammer to tell it it's outputting. So set it to orange. And then what I'm going to use is just regular fluid pipes. Things may be faster, but what I tested earlier, this actually works just fast enough. Like, it actually does work. And you can see the water right here. And eventually you'll see the water start to build up over time. But what we're going to see is this temperature rate should go up. That's the idea. And we have it set to Fahrenheit right now. So it's set to like 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I think once it hits a certain point, it should be good. I don't think this has to go lower. There it goes. Maybe I had to put it down there. So now it's at the bottom. And you can see it starting to raise the temperature of this water. And once it hits boiling, which for Fahrenheit is 212, it should be good. And in Celsius, it's 100. So once this hits 100, then you'll definitely know. Celsius is pretty easy to read when boiling. That's just because it's exactly 100. So that'll be something to watch. That's going to generate some steam for us. And we're going to utilize that steam in this massive turbine that we're about to build. Oh man. Since I have everything ready and this is a larger multi-block build, I want to show you how to use something called a projector. Now, you make the standard projector by itself. It's very simple to make. And what you do is you actually go into your immersive engineering book, and whatever you want to build, you make sure it's selected and then close out of the book and then toss it inside here with your book and pull out your projector. And your projector will now be set to the actual location of that. So you can actually step back and you can see where this is actually going to be built. And I think this is actually going to be a pretty good spot. So once you're ready, you just right click it and then you can, I think it's shift click. Or actually, after you build this structure right here, you can see it's blinking. Looks a little bit better without shaders, but actually it doesn't look horrible with shaders. But once we get to building this out, you'll see that this is going to look a lot better. And of course, you can get rid of it. And you can see it highlights where you actually need to place the item you're holding. So like, for example, sheet metal, we need to place that all here. Same goes here. This actually makes building this way easier. You don't have to think as much and go back and forth and keep things in memory. It's really not as bad doing it this way. So once we get this level built up, then it switches automatically to the next level. How cool is that? So I actually need to grab my pipes. Let's grab out some more fluid pipes. That was the only thing I didn't craft out because I knew I had so many of those. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this built up. It shouldn't take too long. I tell you what, the biggest thing was to get all this steel. That was the biggest thing. Also, removing the projector kind of removes it from view. But yeah, getting all the steel for this, oh man. I mean, well, really wasn't all that bad. I did just throw the steel basically into the into my arc furnace. You know, you throw your iron with your coal coke dust, and it wasn't that bad at all. And it actually goes really fast now that we have a significant amount of power. So this chest is containing two things because there's two multi-blocks you have to build for this. We have first the actual boiler itself, or the steam turbine, but the steam turbine doesn't make power on its own. It needs something to take that rotational energy and turn it into actual power. And that's where the alternator comes in handy. And the alternator is going to be another multi-block that basically connects right here and extends off 4 more blocks. So when I said this thing is large, it really is. It's a very big multi-block. And be prepared. The biggest part of this, I think, was making all of the heavy engineering blocks, because there's a lot that you have to make for this. So lots of heavy engineering blocks. Sheet metal, but this is going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. I think this will like alleviate some of my power drain issues that I'm having. And I don't want to 100% rely on our oil generation, because what happens when that's gone? Like, then what are we going to do? We're going to be without power, which is going to be it's going to be a very tough situation to get ourselves out of. Awesome. So we're almost done. Yeah, and it's only 3 blocks tall, so it's not, like I said, it's not too horrible. Now, when connecting the alternator, make sure that the sheet metal part is the side that you're connecting to this back. And you can kind of see it, but yeah, you definitely want to make sure you rotate this the right way. You don't want to be putting it on backwards. By the way, this was actually 4 blocks tall. I told you wrong earlier. It's actually 4 blocks. So, but still not too horrible. Like I said, let's go ahead and get this. All the HV stuff that's required for this, like the HV cables, because you are going to want to use HV power connectors for all this. That's going to bump up to the next level. Look at all this. The generator block, the steel block. There's so much to this, but I'm kind of excited to get the power up and running. So we need to bring these machines into reality, and to do that, well, there's a couple of places we need to hit. One is right here on that steel block, so now this has been converted. And then we actually need to use this block to convert the alternator, right? That looks correct. It's, oh, we still have the this right here projector, so that's why we're seeing the lines. But anyways, everything's hooked up. Look at this, and these are actually all power output ports, I do believe, all on these sides. Now, to get this up and running, we need to get steam from here into this. And I hope this generates enough steam. It does look like we are producing enough water, so the max boil rate, the only reason it's a little bit lower, I think, is because we're only using 1 coil here. But if this coil, for example, was higher, then it would be a bit better, I think. Now, there is some statistics and stuff that you can see, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I'm definitely more interested in like the top temperature and then the max steam and all that. So to route that over to here, I think I might just use, let's see, some cable, fluid cable. The fluid extraction is probably going to be the fastest option. And probably the best, potentially. So let's grab some of the fluid cable and just pop it in here. Because this has like one of the fastest transfer rates for fluids. And then I'll just run that up and down into this. And we'll see. This is definitely going down really fast. Really fast, actually. But is it doing anything? I can't actually tell if that's even enough steam to do anything. It's definitely slowed down on the steam that's going into it. Okay. Does this not make any noise? Do we have to turn it on with a lever? I figured it would be on by default. No. Okay. So, I mean, the only way to tell would be, I guess, to go over here and see if we have power? I guess. So I've connected a cable. Oh, yeah, we definitely have power. We definitely have some power. Okay, so what I would want to do, I guess, is to hook this and get it into our grid up here. So to do that, I am just going to route some spaghetti cable. That's what you want to call it. Some spaghetti cable. I guess we could route it here to one of these blocks. down here. Maybe have it here as well. And then have our central hooked into this. Going into that. Going from here into here. And then if this will reach here into here. Yes. So there we go. So now we have power hooked up. I don't know if one particular port will work. But actually I think this is self-sustaining. It is draining a little bit faster now. The only thing to do is to test and see if we have a bit more power. I don't know how much the actual HV cables can handle. Is it enough to support, like, this thing? That's what I want to know. Let's grab some iron. And let's make a bunch more steel. Because it seems like we're using all of it. I'll take some coal coke. Do I have any more? I have a 7 coal coke dust. And I mean, it's going a little bit faster. It's not bogging down. It's not bogging down at all on power. But then again, we only have 7 coal dust, so it can technically only do 7 as of right now. I mean, I guess I can just throw this in here. Take some more of my coke dust out. And then go from there. Let's try this now. Oh, it dipped a little bit. It's able to fully function now. So it looks like we are actually good on power. Wow. That's pretty nice. So I think the only way to make this now actually self-sustaining, instead of using coal here, we can actually, I think, use a resistive heater. And so this should be able to use power. So like from this, should hold power and should be able to generate heat to be able to maintain this. All right, so our boiler rate changed to 1 millibucket a tick for some reason. Is it because this isn't facing the right direction? The temp is definitely not going up. Okay, so I'm understanding this. I can now adjust this right here to, let's say, like 100 RF per tick. And then this will upgrade. So if I set this to Celsius, for example, we can do like, I don't know, 200 RF per tick. Is that gonna, we have to bring this number up. So 1000 RF per tick. That definitely brings that up to 40 Celsius. Maybe it's not worth using a resistive heater. Because that wood heater definitely worked. Because it doesn't make any sense to, I mean, I guess that'd be definitely a part of the conservation of energy, wouldn't it? Yeah, this definitely will not work for right now. Back to the good old fuel heater for this, for right now anyways. So I want to try something. Since that's not going to work, maybe we could use some system that is going to automatically put coal in there. Not specifically coal, but charcoal. So we need some way to generate charcoal. And I was thinking maybe we can do some sort of simple setup maybe here. Or where we have some drawers that are set up like this. On top we have the hopping bonsais. And let's just say oak saplings is what we plant. And I'm pretty sure we could get this set up pretty simple. Or simply. So we can specify, all right, we only want oak to be deposited here. So if I pull that out, I need to separate those. We can say, all right, I only want oak. I can lock these drawers. And then we should be able to get the hopping bonsais up and running. And this will at least generate it over a period of time. I'm going to use grass because it's supposed to make it go faster. And hopefully we can set this to an export on the bottom of the drawer. Like this. I don't need it going back and forth. We only want it to go into one place, which is this. Will that work? And this is the auto smelting. Hopefully this will actually Will this actually... No, this will not cook wood. So we're going to need another type of smeltery to do this then. Oh, I'm thinking about this all wrong. We actually can't get charcoal that way. So really we can just use wood. I mean, we could just use this same setup just down there and just make sure it's forcibly gaining wood into it, but we would need a much larger setup for this. So I was completely wrong about going the fuel route. I think I might do this. This seems to be working as well. Let's see, is it draining faster than we're using it? It does seem like it is. So like 1500 RF, like to keep this thing running at a high enough stream to prevent this from going down lower. I don't know. I mean, I still like the fuel. Like, it's just so much better to use this. Like, why use all that extra power when we can just make a setup that's a little bit bigger than this with drawers and hopping bonsais and just call it a day there. Like, this seems like a lot better setup. So today I want to give a huge thanks to one of my Patreons, and that is going to go to Blue Razlis. I think I said that right. Thank you so much for your tremendous support. Definitely over the years. I really do appreciate it. Guys, wow. We've got a lot done. And I am only getting started. We still have a lot to do. And now that we have power, we can do a lot more stuff. So guys, I hope you're enjoying these Let's Plays in this series. If you are, be sure to comment down below and let me know what about this series you're enjoying thus far. And guys, if you haven't already clicked that subscribe button, what are you doing? You might as well go ahead and do that. You won't be missing out. It's absolutely free as well. Like, why even you click that button yet? I have no idea. Anyways, if you haven't given this video a thumbs up as well, be sure to do that if you did enjoy. And guys, I will see you in the next episode. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.